What up, guys? Welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host, Emily. So, little update and a bit of an apology, really, for my avid podcast listeners. I feel like this last week and this week's podcasts are going to be quite short and not the same. So, normally I record podcasts on a Monday, but oh God, I sound like I'm giving excuses. I am. It's fine to give excuses as long as you own them. But basically, last week and this week, it was the end of our Fit in Six group coaching program. Some of you may have partaken in it. But it's just absolutely wild chocker. And then it's the first one I've done since having Eliza. So it is, a lot. So the podcast unfortunately didn't get recorded in its usual time slot, but it will do from next week. So it just means I can waffle on a little bit more and do a little bit more in-depth podcast. But for me, one of the things I set myself is put a podcast out every week, even if it is absolutely chatting shit. But this week isn't. I'm not chatting shit, so don't worry. Even though sometimes they are quite fun episodes, aren't they? And I was thinking, driving back from CrossFit today, and I was thinking, do you know what? I need to do a little bit of either a reintroduction podcast or where I'm at the moment, because I come on and I talk about these subjects every single week, and then sometimes it's just nice to hear normal life stuff. I absolutely know I listen to some podcasts of people just waffling, but it's nice to listen to because I suppose it quiets the voice in your head, doesn't it? Anyway, that's not what we're doing today. Maybe that's next week's podcast. I'll do a little update. Today we're going to talk about effort. Now, annoyingly, I just pressed record because it's 8:10 at night, and I didn't think of what the title's going to be, but which is annoying me. But the we are going to talk about effort because I feel like coming off doing the back of the Fit in Six finishing and some conversations I've had with clients this week, I do feel like people miss the point of actually getting results requires effort. And I feel like we're in a world of effortless stuff. Amazon Prime is just the one that always comes to mind. Is that we don't have to put effort in to find something. If you've got a problem, you put it into Amazon and there'll be some freaky little object that comes up to solve that problem. Or if you've, something's a bit manky in your house, I'm thinking, because Ollie's moaned at me before saying we need a new kitchen pan. I'm like, oh, just get it on Amazon Prime, it'll be here tomorrow. Our problems are solved so quickly, really effortlessly, that I feel like sometimes people are thinking, and sometimes people are thinking, well, results get that easy. Again, look at what's going on with the skinny jab, the Ozempic Mounjaro thing, is that I think people are seeing that as an effortless way to lose weight. But if you haven't listened to that episode, go and listen to it. It's not effortless at all. There's a lot of risk versus reward going on with it. That's in a whole different episode that you can go and listen to. But unfortunately, when it comes to your health and it comes to getting results, whether that's losing weight, toning up, whatever it is, it does require effort. And it doesn't mean that the journey is not going to be enjoyable or that it's just going to be miserable effort. Sometimes putting effort in and getting that reward from putting effort in is really satisfying, to know that you've worked hard. What's that saying? Nothing good comes without hard work. That is not the saying. Come on, Em. Nothing worth having comes easy. Yeah, that's it. And that's it. It's because when we put effort in and we hard work, the return of that reward we get feels so good, so much better, So yeah, that's not the whole podcast, by the way, guys. We are going to go into it, and I've broken it down into four main areas that actually you need to wrap your head around. You need to put effort in these areas. I feel like this podcast is like a simple one, but I feel like it's one that I'm going to send to clients or mention on the Fit in Six that, don't think this is getting results is easy, because it's not. And that's why I try and celebrate people on my Instagram, my clients, that when they do get the results, I celebrate them. I want to share the results. I want to show you their great transformations, whether that's physical, mental, because it's fucking hard work to get results. And when you have put that effort in, you should be celebrating it. So the first one, when it comes to the first section, when it comes to getting results, you need to be putting effort in, is planning. Okay, And the reason I'm going to talk about this first is because I come back to this all the time. Without having a plan to follow, it's like that saying, throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. Like, you're not getting very far, like, at all, if you don't have a plan, if you don't put effort into planning your food that you're going to eat in your calorie deficit. If you don't put effort in to say, right, on a Sunday, I'm going to do my weekly shop, or whatever day I'm going to do my weekly shop. If you don't put effort into thinking, well, hang on, I need to be drinking 3 litres of water here, and I haven't even got a water bottle. Girls, you need to put effort into the plan to make sure you follow through with it. And it baffles me because I speak to people and they're like, oh, I'm not really into tracking my food. Right, how's that working out for you then? Not good, no. Okay. So you need to put effort in to get good at tracking your food, don't you? So you know that you're hitting your calories and you know that you're hitting your protein. By the way, when I do these episodes late at night, I feel like me tolerance filter is very low, and I'm just like, ah. Last week's episode, wasn't it? It was about perfectionism, and I felt like that was just me standing on a soapbox, like giving it me all. So apologies, but I feel like anyone who listens to this probably hasn't got that snowflake attitude and can just take it on the chin. So anyway, planning. You need to put effort into planning. If you're listening to this and you're trying to get results and you're like, oh, but I'm eating protein, I'm going to the gym, and I'm doing it, but you're not planning it. There isn't an actual plan of, okay, on a Sunday, I sit down and go, right, Mondays and Thursdays, this is me, for example, Mondays and Thursdays, really busy days. So I'm probably not going to plan to do my 12K steps that day. I'll have to pull them down to make it realistic and make them up on other days. That's a plan. So I've already put my steps into plan. I do all my shopping on a Sunday and I plan out my teas for the week. We're now throwing a baby into the mix who's started weaning, so that needs planning as well. Otherwise, I could just go, I'm not doing it this week. I'm not planning. I'm just going to focus on the baby and I'll just do whatever. And again, for me, that is literally preparing to fail, isn't it? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Key line in life. And yeah, so you need to get a plan in, girls. You need to get a plan, whether that is your food, whether that is your gym workout plan, whether planning how you're going to be accountable. How are you going to get a coach? Are you going to sign up to a good coaching program? Are you going to do it with your mates at work? Where's your plan of being accountable? There are so many areas. Let's just break them down. So first and foremost, plan your food. If you're chasing fat loss, plan your food. Okay. If you're chasing fitness, you need to plan. You need to have a plan for the gym. When are you going to the gym? How are you going to stay accountable to make sure you get to the gym? That's one of the hardest things. It's all very well signing up to a gym, isn't it? But then you don't have a training program. You're just going to rock up to that gym and do a fucking Pilates class because you get to the gym. Your brain has been focusing on a million and one things that day. The last thing you're going to do is sit and go, right, let me write out a workout. It's just not going to happen. And I was talking to a lady today. She signed up to work with me one-to-one. And she was saying, I've got all the equipment, I've got a gym in my house, and I still can't do it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. You don't have a plan. You don't. She got 2 kids. She's busy. She doesn't have a plan in place, so she's come to me. So I do the hard work for her. I get the plan ready for you. This is where coaching is invaluable, really. I'll tell you your food. Here's your plan for your food. Here you go. Here's your plan for your training. Here's your plan for your week. Go and put your steps in there. Do you know what I mean? It just, without a plan, you ain't getting very far. And that's why number one on my list is, to get results, you need to put effort into planning. I'm sorry, but you do. And here is the soccer punch. I don't have time to plan. No, hun. You really do. And if you planned, guess what? You'd have more time on your hands. Trust me, because you do not have to think. Once you've done one plan that took you half an hour to do your food, your steps, your workouts, whatever else in your week, you then don't have to spend any more brain space or any more time that week nipping to the shop because you didn't plan on a Sunday. So you just have to nip there on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. That nip into the shop time, it's all back, it's all yours because you did it in a oneer on Sunday. So yeah, we'll just nip that one up shall we? Planning is number one to get results. Put an effort into a plan. Make the time to do it. And I could probably relate this into me starting out my journey. I never used to plan. Yeah, I was one of them. Eat healthy. I'd go to the gym. No fucking plan. No training program. Just used to say I was going to the gym, and then used to stand in the mirror and be like, "Why the fuck didn't it look any different?" Anyway, here we are. Next one then, which leads on from planning, and actually in my notes it actually looks like I've written tranny, and for about 3 seconds just before I was press record, I was like, planning tranny. What's that mean? Training is what it says, not tranny. You need to put effort into your training. Okay, is that you can't, again, like I was just saying, you can't just rock up to the gym, and even if you've got a training program, you've planned the training program in, you can't be doing effortless workouts. I'm sorry, I wish it was better advice, but it's not. And this is where I started the podcast and said nothing worth having comes easy. Like, you have to be putting effort into your training. You have to be going to the gym and looking and chasing the numbers, chasing the better form. It's no use just going to the gym week in, week out, doing the same, let's face it, easy exercises, the ones that aren't too hard that you like, or the ones where you can sit on. Best thing, well, not the best thing, best slash worst thing, and I thought I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. In the gym this week, girl in the gym next to me on the machine, on her phone, not resting. She was doing the leg extension on her phone. One, I was like, how are you even multitasking doing that? But yeah, two, that is my point exactly. Rocking up to the gym, effortless workouts, your results ain't coming, girl. I'm telling you now. And yeah, so to overcome this, how do we put effort into our training? Like I said, the best thing to do is to chase your numbers, is make sure you're keeping logs somewhere, whether it's in your phone, on a piece of paper, which is what I recommend, like in a logbook. But you're writing down, right, these are my exercises because I've been a planned bitch and I've got it all done. But these are the numbers I've hit this week. So I did 8 reps at 20 kilograms, great. And I did that 3 times, just say. So next week, I know I've got to get more than 8 reps, or I've got to get more than 20 kilograms. Chase the numbers, okay? Get better each time. And actually, it should be challenging. So when you go in that next week and you're like, oh, I've got to do 25 kilograms, it should be in your head thinking, this is going to be a little bit challenging, it's going to be hard, okay? It shouldn't be like, oh my God, I would rather, die than do this next set. Not that hard, okay? But challenging, and it should require some effort. Now, even me, I like to relate things back to me, so you know that I'm not just chatting shit, but like this week, I was back on the hack squat, and I've been slowly increasing weight, obviously, because postpartum, still quite early postpartum, 5 and a bit months. But I was like, oh my God, I am actually now back up to where I was pre-baby. And in my head, I was like, oh, I've got to do 80 kg. Like, I was a little bit scared. But then in my head, I was like, but also, I know, because I've got my numbers written down, this is where I am this week. I've gone through the 60, the 70, the 75. I'm now at 80. So I was like, well, just get on with it and see how you get on. Anyway, little bit of a trumpet moment for me. I actually ended up doing 85 because I knocked out 80 and thought that was not as bad as what I thought it was. And I reckon I've got another set in me. So I challenged myself and I said, right, let's do 85. And I did it. Yay. But you have to put effort in to training. You can't just rock up and go through the same motions week in, week out. And this is so common. You may be listening to this thinking, I do track my numbers. That's great. Love that for you. But I definitely know there's some people listening thinking, don't track numbers. Don't write them down. I'm married to one. Ollie doesn't do it. I'm like, well, we can't go there because we don't talk about PT stuff. He hates it when I try and PT. But anyway, so I do know that there will be people listening to this thinking, I don't track my numbers. Well, I want you to have a little think about how your results are coming along in the gym. Are you feeling deflated? Are you feeling like you're putting effort in showing up to the gym, but that's where it ends? You're not putting the effort in the gym. Girls, You have to put effort into training if you want to get results. Okay, so start chasing your numbers, start increasing your reps, and start pushing yourself each time you go. Because again, I promise you, the reward of leaving the gym when you've put effort in is so much higher than leaving the gym thinking, was that a waste of time? Did I do anything in there? You will know if your numbers increase and your reps increase, you won't even have to question yourself because you will have it on pen and paper. You put effort in. You just got better. Like that is it. When you leave that gym and your numbers are higher than they were the week before, you've got absolute confirmation that you just got better. Simples. Okay, next one then. So we're on 2 out of 4. Execution. You've got to put effort in the execution. So we've talked about the planning. We've talked about training. When we plan other things, this has come from an inspiration of a client, right? A client that I have, no name, so it doesn't matter, will tell me every single week that she has plans X, Y, and Z in. Okay. But then when it comes to the follow through, she struggles. So the plan is there, but the follow through, it lacks a little bit. And I said to her this week, new clients as well. So it's fine because we're just finding our feet with it. But I said, it's great having the plan, but if you don't put effort into executing the plan, again, the results aren't going to come through. So what we actually did was look at the plan she was making and was, where are we over planning? Because what she was doing, she was planning everything, but then she couldn't follow through with it because it was getting too overwhelming. So we then focused on, right, literally what I'm doing now is what can we plan in and know that we can execute it. Food, we know that we can do that. Okay. Steps, we know that we can do that. She needed a bit of flexibility on her workout. So what was happening was she was planning in doing these 5-6 workouts a week, but then she was struggling to hit 5-6 workouts. I was like, let's just do 3. What 3 can we definitively get to and get done? Okay, great, we'll do that then. So although planning is great, and I'm so glad I didn't say this on point 1, but girls, you've got to be putting effort into the execution of the plan. It isn't good enough to just say, I'm going to the gym, all my food's planned out, but then you go to the gym and you do a shit workout, or you swap your training program for a Pilates class or a yoga class instead of doing the strength training you're meant to do, or you're planning all your food in, but then you're eating over your calories all the time. Okay, so the plan has to be executed. You've got to put effort in executing the plan, and annoyingly, that might mean you've planned all your foods out and your friend says, oh, do you want to go for a midweek Chinese? And you have to say, no, because I've got my plan, haven't I? Got to stick to it. So it is putting effort in to sticking to the plan, to sticking to the execution of saying what you're going to do. Because without putting effort into the execution, you're not going to hit them goals. Let me just read my next point. Can't read what that says. But yes, so hitting the execution of the plan is very, very, very important to getting results. I'm trying to think if I've got any more sort of points I can relate to executing the plan. So I've touched on training, touched on food, steps. Okay, so really, really common one. I'm gonna get up in the morning. 5:30, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get my steps done, I'm gonna get to the gym, and then you do it twice in a week. Okay. Unfortunately, that is you dropping effort. You can give all the excuses of I was tired, I was this, I was that. Doesn't matter. If that's your plan, the likelihood is you've planned that because you know that that is the best thing for you to do. That is how you're going to fit everything in. So then you need to follow it through. You need to put effort in doing it. Don't change from the plan. Don't veer from the plan. And this is what I was saying before about this client. Make sure the plan is realistic and that it suits you and that you're not overshooting yourself. If you feel like, oh, am I overshooting here? The best thing to do, scale back, plan in what you know you can do for that 1 week, achieve it, get some positive motivation from it, and then add it a little bit more in the week after. Okay. Yes, it's a little bit of a build up over a few weeks, but it's so much better than doing 5 out of 7 days of absolutely everything, killing yourself off, and then sacking it off again for a few weeks. Okay. If you can build that plan up in stages, trust me, you will be better off a month down the line. You'll have so much positive motivation under your belt compared to being a month down the line where you did 1 week, 5 days, then you couldn't be asked doing anything because you'd overwhelmed yourself. But then you tried again, and then you only did 2 days, and then before you know it, you're a month down the line, and you're still exactly where you are. Okay, so with the plan, make sure it's executable. I don't know whether that's a word, but we're saying it now. Okay, last point then. See what I mean? Short podcasts. And someone messaged me saying, I like your longer podcast. I was like, I know, but I'm doing my best here. So you've got to put effort into your mindset. Now, this is quite coincidental because I have literally just filmed a recording to one of my clients about her mindset and saying about how she needs to put effort into thinking about the positive and not being a negative Nancy, and how to be, you know, optimistic about your journey and not pessimistic sounds like I'm rapping, pessimistic about it. So when we talk about putting effort into your mindset, it is putting effort into not having that give up attitude, not giving the power to that voice that says, oh, it's too hard or I'm too tired. It's again not going to move you forwards. You have to put effort into one, believing that you can get these results that you're chasing, believing that you can stick to the plan, believing that actually you can say no to social occasions and you can do it, and believing that you can set boundaries with yourself to say whether they're like boundaries of I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and going to the gym, or whether it's a boundary of, I'm not going to drink at the weekend because actually I've just been staying in having a bottle of wine. I really don't want to do that because it's pointless and doesn't do anything for me. Like, you've got to believe that you can achieve that, and you've got to put that positivity into your mindset that everything you say you're going to do, you can absolutely go and do. One of the worst things that you can do, girls, is to have an effortless mindset. Effortless can be like a positive and negative word, can't it? But anyway, it's having an effortless mindset of thinking, like, just, well, that's my point, not thinking positively about it, and just, you know, like not thinking about it. That's what I mean. Like, you set out to do your food, to plan your food, but then you're just like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And having that, like, I don't know what you describe it in my head. I was like, weak mindset. You've got to be focused. You've got to be strong. You've got to be optimistic. You've got to be driven if you want to get these results. As I said at the beginning of this episode, getting results is really hard, or can be really hard. Not is really hard. It can be really hard. It can be really hard at sometimes, and other times it can feel, flowy, like in the flow of stuff. But you've got to have the mindset that is ready to push through the hard, and is to stay optimistic and stay positive that you can do it. Because without that mindset, nobody's coming to do it for you. Nobody is going to come up to you and say, oh, let me get in your head and just redrive like how you're thinking about this. It just isn't happening. If you aren't putting effort in to have that positive mindset, and to have that driven mindset, and to have that resilient mindset. Okay, that mindset of someone brings in chocolate muffins, you're not meant to have one, but you have one, rather than being like, oh well, like I fucked it, I might as well start again on Monday. Having that mindset of going, no, I know I would normally fuck it and I would start again on Monday, but I'm not doing that this time. I'm putting effort in to saying, all right, it was only one muffin, I'll just crack on, have my tea as normal, tomorrow go back to the gym, and I get back on. Having that resilience in your mindset and putting effort into trying to do that. Something I speak a lot about when it comes to mindset. Wow, look at my fingers. I am so in this now. Something I speak a lot about mindset though is your mindset is exactly the same as training your body. You do not have to wake up and be like, oh, I'm motivated now. Oh, I'm optimistic now. You have to work at it. The same as that you want to run a 10K, but you've never ran before. But you're not just going to get up, put your trainers on and go and run a 10K. You're going to work at it. You're going to get better at the running. You're going to go out each week and you're going to try again and you're going to try again. And before you know it, you are running that 10K. Okay. But it's the same with your mindset. It is exactly like a muscle that you have got to train and work on and keep going. And I don't know if I just said this on the podcast or I've said to my clients, I think it was to my clients, but what I just said on that recording was, this was me. I had to retrain my brain to be, I've always been quite positive, but to really dig into that self-belief, really, like, and I do, and I have that now. I have that power now. I know that I am disciplined. I know that I hold myself to a high standard. I know I can achieve a lot of the things that I want to achieve. But me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that wasn't in me. That I wasn't just like that, you know. I would half believe that, oh well, you know, we'll set out what you need to do, and it'll, you know, you just crack on. And I just didn't have that like self belief. Whereas now I do, but it took years. It's taken years to get me here, but I have to keep working on it. And every day, I still get up and I do my affirmations. I am happy. I am healthy. I'm a good person. I'm a great coach. I'm driven. I'm focused. I'm disciplined. I'm successful. Every day, I say these affirmations to myself, because that's me working on my mindset. That's me putting effort in to my mindset, so I can keep having this strong mindset and keep developing it and keep getting better at it. And there we go. That is where you need to put your effort to get results. Oh, we just came up with the title. So pretty sad that was 26 minutes ago. I couldn't think of that. But yeah, where you need to put effort to get results is in your planning. Okay, start there. If you try to get results without a plan, stop. Okay, get a freaking plan in place. Gym, food, steps, socials. I promise you will feel so much more in control and so much more motivated, because everything will be organized. One of my clients checked in with me today, and she said, can't believe how much of a difference it makes, like, you know, having an hour on a Sunday just to plan the week. And I was like, no shit, Sherlock. But anyway, go here. So planning, you have to put effort into your training. You have to. Okay, remember, we can't just show up and expect results to fall onto our lap, otherwise we'd all be fucking buzzing. Execution of the plan. Make sure you're putting effort into following through your plan, and what you say you're going to do, you're going to put the effort in to make sure it happens. And then the last one, mindset. We can have all of these physical things that we do, but we need to have that mindset on side that we are continuously believing in ourselves. We are disciplined. We know that if things go wrong, we are resilient to show up and keep going and push through and keep working on that mindset, because without that mindset, you will drop off. Okay, you will feel like, I don't deserve this. Maybe this is just the body I'm meant to be in. You know, I hear that a lot, but actually it's not. It's probably one of the other three that you need to knuckle down and believe that you can do it. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. Again, apologies, it was a little bit late, or filming late at night. And please always let me know. Drop me a DM over on Instagram @_em.powered. And I will see you next week at an earlier time, where I'll be a bit brighter and getting my words out properly. And hopefully not. Do I sound monotone? I really hope I don't sound monotone. But if I do, apologies. At least I've done a podcast. All right. Signing off. Go put some effort in. Love you. Bye.